Have you ever wondered what the oldest story of love, loss, and redemption in the world is? I am talking about an epic tale that was written over 5,000 years ago, approximately. It is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a masterpiece of world literature that has captivated readers and audiences for millennia. But why has this ancient tale endured for so long? What is it about the story of Gilgamesh that continues to resonate with people even today? And what can we learn from this epic tale about the human experience? Let us find these answers and explore the world of the Epic of Gilgamesh. And before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified of every upcoming video of Uncovering Mythology and History. The Epic of Gilgamesh is a great piece of writing that gives us a fascinating look at the world of long ago. The fact that we don't know who wrote it only adds to the mystery surrounding this epic tale. This writing was invented around 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, and the locals spoke Akkadian and Sumerian. The scribes used cuneiform writing, which involved wedge-shaped letters that they inscribed onto clay tablets. This novel writing method intrigued everyone, even rulers, who found it a useful tool for gaining authority. One ruler of Uruk even used this method to threaten his adversaries and gain the upper hand. The story of Gilgamesh was so popular that it was commissioned to be copied on a dozen clay tablets by the ruler Ashurbanipal, who was a great fan of the epic. He even considered the Babylonian deity of writing, Nabu, to be his father. These clay tablets were kept safe for many years in Ashurbanipal's huge library, until his empire fell apart and the library burned down. The clay tablets with the epic story on them were saved from the fire, and in 1845, an Englishman named Austin Henry Layard found them along with the whole clay city. Despite their discovery, nobody could decipher the tablets until 1872, when George Smith, a British museum employee, finally cracked the code. His excitement at being the first person in ages to read the piece about the Great Flood caused him to run into the chamber and start disrobing. The story begins by introducing us to Gilgamesh, a powerful king who is both feared and loved by his people. He is described as being 2/3 god and 1/3 human, which makes him incredibly strong and almost invincible. However, despite his strength and power, Gilgamesh is also deeply flawed in his early life as a king. He is arrogant and selfish and often abuses his power as a king. His people begin to pray to the gods, asking for help to deal with Gilgamesh's tyranny. In response to their prayers, the gods create Enkidu, a wild man who is meant to be Gilgamesh's equal. Enkidu was raised by animals in the wild and doesn't know anything about people. However, after he meets a prostitute who teaches him about human life, Enkidu becomes more civilized and decides to confront Gilgamesh. The two become friends and embark on many adventures together. One of the most famous adventures in this epic is their journey to the cedar forest to kill the monster Humbaba. The journey is treacherous, and the two friends face many challenges along the way, but they did make it to the cedar forest and beat Humbaba. They brought his head back as a trophy. This victory solidifies their friendship and makes them even stronger. However, their happiness is short-lived, as the gods decide to punish them for their arrogance. They send the Bull of Heaven to wreak havoc on the city of Uruk. Gilgamesh and Enkidu are able to defeat the bull, but in doing so, they anger the goddess Ishtar. Ishtar curses them both, and Enkidu falls ill and dies shortly after. This is where the story takes a turn toward tragedy. Gilgamesh is overcome with grief and begins to fear his own mortality. He becomes obsessed with finding eternal life. As Gilgamesh keeps looking for eternal life, he finally finds Untitled, the old man he has been looking for. The journey has been long and treacherous, but Gilgamesh is determined to learn the secret of immortality from this mortal who has somehow managed to become a god. When he finally meets Utnasham, Gilgamesh is filled with a sense of awe and wonder. This is the man who has survived the Great Flood that had nearly wiped out humanity. How had he managed to do it? Gilgamesh is desperate to know, hoping that the answer might hold the key to his own eternal life. But Utnasham is no ordinary man, and he has no simple answer to Gilgamesh's question. He describes how the gods had chosen him to construct an ark to protect himself, his family, and all the animals from the flood. He had survived the flood, but he had not become immortal. Despite this, Gilgamesh still holds on to hope. If Utnasham had survived such a catastrophic event, there must be some way for him to achieve immortality as well. He pleads with Upnishim to reveal the secret to him, but Upnishim warns him that it is not possible. Immortality is the domain of the gods, and mortals can never attain it. But Upnishim is not without compassion. He sees the pain and desperation in Gilgamesh's eyes, and he offers him a chance to prove himself worthy of immortality. He challenges Gilgamesh to stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights, but Gilgamesh fails the test, falling asleep just moments before the end of the final night. Despite his failure, Gilgamesh has learned an important lesson. He realizes that trying to live forever is a waste of time, and that he must accept that he will die. But he also learns that he can achieve a kind of immortality through the legacy he leaves behind. And so he returns to Uruk, determined to build a city and create works that will be remembered long after he is gone. This is where the story takes a turn toward redemption. Gilgamesh returns to Uruk, having learned an important lesson about life and death. He realizes that he cannot live forever, but he can leave a legacy behind. He sets out to build walls around the city of Uruk and to create works that will be remembered long after he is gone. This gives Gilgamesh a kind of immortality, not because he will live forever, but because he will leave behind a story that will be told for years to come. The Epic of Gilgamesh is a story that explores many important themes, including friendship, mortality, and the search for the meaning in life. One of the most important themes in this epic is the power of friendship. Gilgamesh and Enkidu's friendship is a central part of the story, and their bond is both deep and powerful. They are able to accomplish great things together, and their friendship gives them the strength to face even the most difficult challenges. However, the epic also explores the theme of mortality and the fear that comes with the realization that we are all going to die someday. Gilgamesh is deeply afraid of his own mortality, and his quest for eternal life is a reflection of this fear. However, in the end, he comes to accept that death is a natural part of life, and that what is important is not how long we live, but what we do with the time that we have. The theme of this search for meaning in life is also an important part of the epic. Gilgamesh is a powerful king, but he feels unfulfilled and empty inside. He believes that the key to happiness is to achieve immortality, but he soon realizes that this is not the case. Instead, he finds meaning in life by creating a legacy for himself and for his city. He realizes what is important. In my opinion, the moral of the story is that at the beginning of the story, Gilgamesh is all-powerful, but he has no compassion for others. At the end of the story, he realized that death was inevitable. So instead of becoming immortal, he gained the one thing he was missing and became a better king. We can see this when he wanted to give part of the magical plant to the elders of the city. It is amazing how the tale leaves us with Gilgamesh in despair after losing all hope, and then transitions him into finding the truth and admiring the great city he built. As we come to the end of our discussion on the Epic of Gilgamesh, we invite you to reflect on the various themes and characters that we have explored together. What part of this ancient story has resonated with you the most? Is it the power of friendship, the search for immortality, or perhaps the importance of leaving a lasting legacy? We encourage you to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Stay tuned to the Uncovering Mythology and History channel to get more interesting videos. Thanks for watching.